watching Morning at NTV. You're watching Morning at NTV.
Good morning. Welcome to Morning at NTV. It's a new month. I hope that you're geared for it. My name is Malaki Odera, but as usual, on the Kickstarter segment, we always talk about what you've been reacting the most to. And of course, that has been the story that we saw last week. Major General Mugisha Munyanja announcing his exit from the FDC party, where he was the president from 2012 all the way to 2017 after he lost the seat to the current president, Mr. Patrick Moriat. What does this mean for the opposition, especially when it comes to them gearing up for 2021? And of course, we have our lines open. You can be part of this discussion. The hashtag is Morning at NTV. That's on Twitter. You can also stream us live and drop in your comments. NTV Uganda, that's on Facebook and YouTube pages. But in studios to unravel all that entire mystery when it comes to the opposition clinching the power come 2021 is Mr. Julius J. Lebo, who is a political analyst. Thank you so much, sir, for making time.
You're welcome, Sam.
You're welcome. Last week, we saw Major General Mugisha Munyanja address the press. And in attendance, we had 10 members of parliament, and including them, we had 2 from NRM. What did that mean? Are there undertones that we're not reading into?
Well, it's the right of any Ugandan to leave, to join any political party of his choice. But I think we are getting excited too early regarding the exit of Major General Mugisha Munyanja from the FDC party. I think we should wait and see what he's up to, because it's just excitement for the time being. It's just excitement.
It's just excitement.
Yeah, because one thing you should know is that in Uganda, just like in other African countries, it's very difficult to start a party and lead it in posterity. We have seen parties that led to the independence of quite a number of countries collapsing. Soon after, their founder leaders were no longer the leaders.
Right.
Apart from ANC and a few others, the rest do not outlive their leaders.
But the fact that we saw 2 NRM politicians attending, this particular press conference, are we likely to see a realignment of the political forces?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't see any realignment. One thing is, for you to start a party, for you to run a party, you need the resources. Other than getting membership, in Uganda today we know our politics has been so monetized, and it's not very possible to run a party on hope. And the people who went out with Munyanja, I believe they will be there for some time, but they will not stick with him.
Oh, really? That's what you think?
Yeah, that's what I foresee.
Why is this?
He doesn't have the resources. Much as we might say it's not about resources, but it is about resources.
Let me cut you short right there. Of course, we've been looking at your feedback on social media, and there's a lot of skepticism that is going on. But before we get into that, let's play this bite. We saw Chadondo East Member of Parliament. Just after he came back and addressed the press, he actually alluded to this fact. Let's take a look.
Information that the regime has put some people to go and register the name People Power as a political entity so that they can stop us from using the word People Power, so that they can stop us from coming together.
So he said that he got intel information that the ruling party is actually putting together some forces to create a political party. A few days after that, now we saw Mugisha Munyanja exiting FDC with hopes to actually come up with a new party. And he says that come 25th of December, the new party will be announced. Could this be it, especially now that he's coming from a point whereby many have accused him of being an NRM mole?
Well, as I've said earlier on, Mugisha Munyanja has the right to form a party if he felt aggrieved in FDC. It's just like in any other party, you're free to come in and to leave. But now the challenge, the reality on the ground is that Ugandans are not looking forward to more parties. I can assure you of that. Ugandans are looking more at individuals. Our kind of politics is not, I'm not saying Munyanja has any problem as a leader, but Munya's kind of leadership would be good for a country not like Uganda. He would fit very much in a developed country. Or in another country where the politics is not like ours here. Yeah, he's sober, yes, he's principled, he believes in transparency, in integrity, but those are not qualities Ugandans look forward to.
What do Ugandans
Those would be
look
qualities good for the IGG, for a priest, for a bishop, yeah, but not a politician in Uganda.
So what do Ugandans look for in politicians?
Ugandans look forward to somebody with charisma, somebody who has the ability to threaten and implement that threat. Ugandans want a strong leader. We will talk about institutions, yes, but it's the personality of individuals that we usually look forward to. That's why USG still has a following. He knows how to galvanize people and threaten and say, but he has been losing elections throughout. Though his kind of politics is admired by quite a section of other people, and then others fear. Then we have the Ugandans who are on the fence. They're not sure whether they should be here, they're not sure whether they should be there, but those are the few. And the elite, as many other people have said before, do not vote.
And they don't care.
They don't give a damn as long as they make their money, they have their jobs, they earn their salaries. They are not the people who line up in the heat, in the rain to participate in voting. They are more on Facebook, on WhatsApp, and reading newspapers and talking about other people. They don't participate in elections.
One of the major reasons as to why Mugisha Munyanja actually exited FDC is he said that he had different ideologies when it comes to leadership and the strategy to take up power. And he said that the current leadership is pro-defiance and civil disobedience, and that's the strategy, just going out and just being all defiant. But for him, he said his strategy was making sure that they have grassroots structures so they can be able to reach every single electorate across the country. Now, with that in mind, and with the split in opposition, and come 2021, what will it take for them to clinch power? Now, we're not looking at just FDC, DP, and any other political party. We're looking at the opposition in totality.
I don't see that happening. It's a good dream. I would like to see for the first time a peaceful transfer of power from one leader to the next. It will ever happen during our lifetime. But with the current opposition, I don't see it happening. Yeah, even building grassroots structures. It's nice to say it, yes, but it has to be implemented by somebody. And to implement it, you need resources. You need resources. And I can assure you the NRM is not sitting down and just watching its opponents doing what it should be doing best. Because we know they're the party in power, they know what it takes to get power and to retain it. So they will not wait for the opposition to build structures when they're doing nothing. It's not just going to happen like that. Mm-hmm. It would be wishful thinking. But it doesn't stop them from trying. It doesn't stop them from trying. And I would not like to say that the opposition is disorganized. No. They are the opposition, yes. Mm-hmm. And they have to do whatever is in their means, legally in their means, to attain power. Yeah. But the process, whether it's via defiance, civil disobedience, or other means, I don't see it happening very soon.
But if it's
unless the president on his own decides, because right now where he stands, we know he's stronger than all these opposition people combined. Maybe whoever will replace him within the NRM, because maybe he would not have been tested, that's when the opposition might have a chance, but not the way it is right now.
Over the weekend, NTV hosted Mr. Mike Sebalu, who is from NRM, and I think he alluded to what you're pointing out, to what the current president, Mr. Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, has gotten right, is him having strong structures across the country. You actually mentioned that the middle class and the elite don't care about elections, but the bigger majority are those who are, quote unquote, what we call peasants, who really have already felt the power of the NRM party. So when it comes to the opposition clinching power, will forming a coalition come 2021 where the entire opposition supports one candidate, will that give them better chances?
It would be ideal, but there's what we call reality. As I think it is Joseph Stalin who said one time that power actually belongs to the person who counts the ballot, not to the person who votes.
What are you trying to say?
I'm saying it. Yeah. If the opposition does not have capacity to protect its votes, it will always complain that it has been cheated. They will go to court and be defeated. We have seen it happening before. It's ideal, yes, it's good. But as the president said, power has to be grabbed, it has to be fought for. It's not given to you on a silver platter. So they should not be telling us about having grassroots structures and this and that. They should be telling us how they will protect their votes, how they will ensure there's no rigging, if at all it's there, as they usually say. So how are they going to do that? We're not seeing any proper reason. Whether it's Muntu, whether it's Vesige, whether it's Mao, or Wasalirwa, it doesn't really matter. How are you going to protect your votes?
What does it take to protect a vote?
It takes more than rhetoric. That is work for them. That's the homework. That's where the issue is. Do they have the resources? Do they have the means? Do they have the manpower? The other time, you know, government is government. They just switched off all the mobile money. What do? You can remain there complaining. They'll switch off the radios. What will you do? That's politics. So, if you do not have means of controlling the systems in place, you can live in hope. It's not bad. You can live in hope. But it's not going to happen like that on a silver platter. The opposition in Uganda has much more work than creating more parties. I believe that's where the issue is, not just creating parties. Have much more work.
So what you're saying is Major General Mugisha Munyanja did not make the right decision with him exiting to form a new party. That is not what Ugandans want at this point in time.
Yes, that's one. But making a mistake? No, he didn't make a mistake. It is his right as Mugisha Munyanja to move and create a party of his own. Even you can create your own party. It's not against the law. But at the end of the day, what are you looking for? Because parties are not charity organizations. Parties are formed with the aim of attaining power and retaining it by whatever means legally possible. But now, if he feels he should be outside the FDC and create another party, maybe he's looking for a forum. Maybe the FDC didn't give him that avenue he wanted to express, because human beings are political animals. So even within his party in the formation, there might be other people with other ideas who might split, and they will continue splitting. No one stops them from that. It is their right to do it. But at the end of the day, what do they want? They want to attain power, but what methods are they using? All roads lead to Rome, but others are unnecessarily long and burdensome.
Okay, the current political atmosphere, and we are always on ground and we get this, there's a lot of need for change of power and leadership in the country, especially now that the youth have now come out stronger to express their voices. And we have some of the members of parliament who actually talk to us, and they say that if the opposition does not get it right, if they don't put their house together, Mr. Museveni will smile his way to power again come 2021. Let's take a look.
I don't want to be counted like cattle, because these people who are splitting, President Museveni, Dr. Besigye, Mugisha Munyanja, they are just counting MPs like cattle. This is mine, this is mine, this is mine. This is so dangerous and will give President Museveni a clear win in the 2021 elections. I can bet. If we don't unite, I can even put my hands. If President Museveni is not declared the winner, you'll cut off my hands.
You have heard him.
Yes, I have.
He has said he's actually made a bet. He's willing to have his fingers cut off, you know, once that is done. When it comes to the opposition uniting into one major force, a strong force that I think many resonate with, will this change things? Are we seeing the opposition splitting as a game of egos? Is it just ideologies, or we are seeing something major? Everyone wants to be the leader?
I wouldn't want to talk about ideologies, because I don't see any ideology apart from capitalism. What ideology do our parties have? I don't see. They always talk about it. Maybe they're talking about methods of attaining and retaining power, but ideologies, maybe I have to be educated on that. But the fact is, as long as the current president says he's standing in 2021, I don't see the opposition getting a chance. Because it's not the first time they're going to have a coalition. They've always had it. DP, with the FDC, is it a forum for the different parties, UPC, they have always come together. Even they tried it with when Amama Mbabazi came up with his Go Forward. And nothing much happened. It's not so much the issue of having a coalition. It's about protecting your votes. That's where the issue is. Who announces the results? Do you have control over that? If you don't, remain in your position until such a time, maybe Museveni will be nice to say, I think I'm giving you a chance. And
are you trying to say that the Electoral Commission is not fair and credible?
I say the person who has the power is the one who counts the ballots.
So in
power
essence,
belongs to the person who controls the ballots.
So in essence, you're saying the EC does not have power.
I am not saying that in essence. What I'm saying is that the opposition does not control they don't have the capacity to control or to count the votes. They just rely on the goodness, on the goodwill of whoever announces. This is politics. This is politics. Yeah. They can do all the talking, but this is politics. I've seen it happening throughout the history of this country. You're not just going to say because you got more, you won, therefore, and there's no evidence, you go to court, you don't go through. I mean,
Just a few weeks ago, of course, with the recent by-elections and with NRM losing to, of course, the opposition being independent candidates, some from FDC, others from DP, he actually threatened the EC, saying that they're not doing their work well. So with that in mind, are we seeing the EC reforming and maybe trying to pass the litmus test in terms of credibility? And are we likely to see them reform come 2021 and be credible?
Well, the EC not being credible is a very, very political question. But what I can say is that the EC, they know where the bread is buttered. They know. So what do they benefit? We're a developing country, okay? And maybe democracy just doesn't fall from the sky. And it takes time. Maybe this is a learning experience for us as a country. Maybe one day. And they say people usually get the leaders they deserve, for whatever. If you look at the history of nations, yeah, we always get the leaders we deserve. So when the wind of change comes, it will not be stoppable. The change will just occur. But for the time being, we have to make do with what you have. For the opposition, they can continue in opposition. It's okay. It keeps the current government on its toes. They're not very many, they are few. But you see, with those few, government is always looking behind its back, what's happening, what are they saying, what this and that. They are jittery. And there are some things which have come out, good things that have come out because the opposition has said this, they have brought this. And you see right now the youth are benefiting from this
cash bonanzas.
Cash bonanzas. And yeah, it's not the best way of doing it. But at least something is coming out of government. They have realized that there's a problem. There is an army of the youth out there who don't have jobs, who don't have means of survival. So something must be done. Maybe after this initial excitement, there might be a better program on how to handle. That's what the opposition does. I mean, to criticize government so that it does whatever it's doing better. Yeah.
Let me ask you, of course, we saw the issue of our president, with his cash bonanza after the wave of Bobi Wine, Chadondo East Member of Parliament, Honorable Robert Chagulanyi. And many were saying that the president dishing out money was not well informed. It wasn't the perfect strategy to help the youth. It was not sustainable because you give them the money, what next? So would you say that this was a strategy of trying to win the wave of the youth and the support of the youth by the NRM government?
Let me tell you something. In politics, nothing happens by mistake. Nothing happens by mistake. If the current party feels one of the ways through which they can divert the attention of the youth from accuse them of being hooligans or being lawless and being all those things. If one of the ways, as a stopgap measure, is to give them cash handouts, so be it. The NRM has the resources, whether the resources come from the national coffers, whether from contribution of party members, the fact is they have the resources. And for the time being, it has diverted the attention of the youth from whatever it is that they were doing to looking forward to more cash bonanzas. But what happens at the end of the day may become 2021. We don't know how they will vote. But for the time being, that strategy is a stopgap measure. It's to cool down whatever excitement that was that had arisen because of Bobi Wine.
And will it be effective in the long run in terms of cooling off the Bobi Wine phenomenon?
It's not a long-term thing. It's a stopgap. It's a short-term strategy. But as any planner will tell you, those who are in the political business should be doing something that will have a long-term effect on the youth. Whether they are doing it or not, I don't know. But that should be the path they should be following. Because this is just a temporary Because after a short time, that money will run out,
Yeah.
and there will be more problems. So they should get a long-lasting solution to that.
Over the weekend, and let's, as you come to a close, let's talk about the wave and the strength Bobi Wine has when it comes to shaking even power. Of course, you've seen this over the past few weeks. Over the weekend, last week, he went to Masaka. There was the reunion conference between, you know, DP and this other group that they had to meet up, and it was a big event. But we could see clearly, it's not just in Kampala. Bobi Wine commands massive support out of town. In Masaka, when he reached, we saw the clouds of people, you know, chanting his people power, you know, slogan. So in terms of him getting his act right and maybe attaining his goal of regime change, what will it take? Because I know Mugisha Muntu is trying to have talks with him.
But one thing, I keep asking people to talk about Bobi Wine. One thing I know, he hasn't said he wants to be president.
He actually said he's not ready to be president.
He hasn't said
but
that.
He's willing to support someone who has a clean way and a clean ideology that he supports.
And who's that? We don't know. But it's not automatic that whoever Bobi Wine supports will go through. Ugandans are very unpredictable. Right now, Bobi Wine is very popular, but we don't know 2-3 years down the road whether he will still be as popular.
So what will it take for his phenomenon to stay for long?
Well, his popularity is part of, apart from being a popular musician and delivering political message through his music. Well, I've seen he has at least shown us that he's a good mobilizer. And it's not just that the people who have been going through have had some popularity, or they are at least known quantities wherever he has supported them. They are just not unknown quantities. Yeah, because we know in Jinja, in Bugiri, in Arua, these are known politicians.
Yes.
And we don't know whether they would have even gone through without his support. But the mere fact that he was there and those people he supported went through.
Yes.
Well, if it is a trend, well, it might continue being a trend. But how long it will be, that is prophecy, that is a prediction in politics, which is very, very unreliable. You can't tell. Anything happens.
Okay, as we come to a close, your last remarks. Shima North will be going to the elections, to the polls very soon. There's a by-election happening. Will FDC clinch this as well?
Yeah, from what I'm seeing, it's most likely Nwagawa might make it.
Okay.
Yeah, because he was in the system and got disgruntled and he has left. So, yeah,
he might take this one.
He might take it.
Thank you so much, Mr. Julius J. Level, for coming in studios. That has been the conversation on Kickstarter segment. Keep your views coming. The hashtag is Morning at NTV. That's on Twitter. You can also stream us live and drop in your comments. NTV Uganda. That's on Facebook and YouTube pages. Morning at NTV still continues. Up next is Reality on the Ground with Omuntu Wawansi, Andrew Chamagiro.